Good evening, class. Students, graduate students. Thank you, nice to see you. Today, we're going to be talking about rational emotive behavior therapy, okay? Providing RBT treatment to high school students. So you all going to school to be school counselors in the local high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, Christian schools, whatever it might be. Today, we're going to be putting that into practice with therapy that you have already learned in your psychopathology courses, as well as your counseling theories courses. So I'm just going to have a few things we're going to talk about first. Our learning objectives, or our learning outcomes, whichever one you prefer to call it out. So learning outcomes interpret and measure behavioral consequences associated with your client's rational and irrational beliefs. You know, we all have beliefs, whether it be Christian beliefs, political beliefs, social beliefs, family or cultural beliefs, whatever it might be. We all have beliefs, as you're all accustomed to going through this program. Apply your learning to the ABCDE model as you compose potential solutions to your client's current problems. Okay, here's some of the things that these learning outcomes will help you with. You will be able to apply the knowledge you have learned previously from your other classes. You will be able to consistently identify irrational and rational beliefs in high school clients as you provide them with RBT therapy. You will be able to differentiate and evaluate the differences between rational and irrational thoughts, beliefs, cognitions, perceptions, whatever you prefer to be, okay? So the words will vary throughout this class, as you're all accustomed to. Through some small group discussions, as well as maybe a little debate, you will be able to practice measuring the behaviors of irrational thoughts and rational thoughts on a Likert scale, which is an assessment, very common. The evaluation will be applied to using real-life examples of case studies. There you will develop ideas for changing perceptions and perspectives to better influence the emotions, thoughts, and behaviors of your clients. And then you'll discuss ways that you can help change their thoughts to help make them a little bit more rational, a little more reasonable, more logical. So quickly, let's review the ABCDE model for your recollection and understanding, just for the basis of the class objectives. So, we just went through these, applying outcomes based on everything I just discussed. I'll go back to this one in case you want to take notes. But all the notes are right here before you is what I provided you with a handout. The ABCDE model. A represents the activating events. So if something happens in someone's life, there's an event, and based on that event, they develop a belief. So that B is the belief. C is the consequence of your belief. Normally what follows a belief is some type of words or actions. You ever heard the old cliche, what becomes your thoughts becomes your words, what becomes your word becomes your actions, what becomes your actions becomes your reputation, what becomes your reputation becomes who you are, your identity. Okay? D is the perceptive dispute one entertains cognitively to debate their beliefs. So what this means is it's like self-talk, meditation, prayer. If you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you start having something come up, it's just kind of a turmoil experience, you don't have anyone to call, so what do? You start talking to God. You start praying. You tell him how you feel and what's going on inside of you. That is that debate and dispute within inside oneself. And sometimes it's a big conflict. The next one is E. E stands for new rational effects or beliefs. Because of that prayer, because of talking to someone, or experiencing new activated events, or it could be something, one thing that you might hear at a church or a public speaker or a motivational speaker, they might say that one thing that changes your life forever. God might whisper something in your ear that changes that one thing in your life forever. So that's where, once you change your way of thinking, your beliefs, you then change your actions, you change the way you feel. Okay? Actions derive from thoughts, which can be past, current, or anticipated events. Experiences shape clients' thoughts, either rationally or irrationally. Consequences are basically emotions. The consequences of behaviors or beliefs is how you feel a lot of times. So if you think and believe a certain way, for example, your boss doesn't like you, you might feel bad about yourself when you go to work. It's going to affect the work environment that you display around you and other people. And it also might prohibit you from performing well on your job as well. Your emotions can be positive or negative. And that's where self-dispute comes in. You start thinking about yourself, you start thinking badly about yourself. Therefore, you might get depressed, you might get sad, you might get lonely. Music can do this stuff to you. Movies, other people, influences. And then you have new rational effects. So if you begin to change the way you believe, more positively a lot of times, or through Scripture, you're going to change your emotions, and your emotions are going to develop new views. So through all that, there will be new views, new emotions, etc. Excuse my speech, I'm talking relatively quickly. So let's warm up with an activity. Normal versus abnormal. So here we have a family of dogs, and they look happy, they're running down the road with reasonable behavior, right? They're doing everything right, they have their dog collars on, their tethers, and they're just hopping along. Then you have unreasonable behavior. We have this mean dog wanting to just bite someone, probably for no reason, probably because they're going down there reaching for their dog bowl or a dog bone. Who knows what it could be? And they just want to lash out. Well, these dogs can be in comparison to people. They can be personified as people. You see the nice family going down the street, they probably have the right thoughts, the right emotions, everything's going to be going well for them. Financially, nice cars, nice home, etc. Then you see this mean dog. This could be that, well, not to compare a dog to a kid, but what if it was a kid acting out in school, very angry because their parents are on drugs, their families might be very abusive to one another, emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually, whatever it might be. That's where you might get some unreasonable, which is abnormal, and irrational behaviors, thoughts, beliefs. So things to consider: spiritual, religious, cultural, social, political, and then secular norms of society. All these really play into your beliefs, my beliefs, and our clients' beliefs. So if you look at your handout, numbers 1 through 8 are all on your handout before you. So you don't even have to worry about the PowerPoint if you want to refer back to it. This is just to keep us on point and on key. Take about 1 or 2 minutes. About 2 minutes, and just read through them. And then right out beside them, do you think it's rational or irrational thought? And then if you have an explanation, write the explanation beside it. It can be biblical, it can be secular, whatever you want it to be. Sky's the limit. Taking time. All from under the and just look up when you're ready. Just make eye contact with me. That way I know that you have completed the classwork assignment. Feel free to take a little additional time. And feel free to write as we're responding to these answers and questions and statements. Feel free to write responses, take notes, whatever helps you out will be in a future council. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a show of hands if you believe it's a rational statement or an irrational statement. Okay? For number one, raise your hand if you think you believe it's a rational statement. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Raise your hand if you believe it's irrational. Maybe I miscounted, I'm sorry. So 7. So we have 7 people in the room. Okay? Raise your hand if you believe number 2 is a rational statement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gene, did I see your hand? Okay. Someone put 6 down. Gene, was that? Am I under assumption is irrational? Okay, so 1 for irrational. Okay, number 3. Raise your hand if you believe it's a rational statement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Billy, Gene, Alex.
Which one, I'm sorry?
Number 3.
Yeah, that's rational.
Okay. All right, keep on looking at your papers. I'm going to point one thing out to a couple of you. Look right beside the statements. And let me show you this, Gene. I got to show you earlier. Beside each statement, you'll see what it is right here. All right. Y'all came a little bit late right before we begin, so I want to make sure everybody gets a fair opportunity when it comes to answering these questions. Okay, number 4. Raise your hand if you believe it's a rational statement. Okay. Number 5. Raise your hand if you believe it's a rational statement.
Did you say rational or irrational?
Rational. If you believe it's a rational statement. Raise your hand if you believe it's an irrational statement.
It's irrational.
Okay, I see 7.
Yeah.
Hands go up. All right, we're going to do this a little bit quicker. Just look beside the statement.
It's kind of tricky.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to really think about it.
Yeah, it can be tricky.
I know.
I know, if I'm going too fast, please let me know. All right, number 6. If you believe it's a rational statement, raise your hand. If you believe it is a irrational statement, raise your hand. So 7. Right now, everybody seems to be kind of lining up with rational statements and irrational. We'll see if anybody kind of has conflicting views in a moment. So for number 7, raise your hand if you believe it's a rational statement.
Rational.
Rational. Okay, we have one back here. Billy. Billy has 1. Okay. His facial expression said it all. Made me laugh a little bit. Thank you for the humor. Okay. So, number 8. Okay, for number 7, I'm assuming everyone else believes that's an irrational statement. Okay. So for number 8, do I have anyone for rational statement? No. What about irrational? Everybody believes irrational. Okay. My marker is running over here. All right. So let's go through relatively quickly, and I'm going to do like popcorn. If you would like to answer number 1, if you think it's or rational or irrational, raise your hand and then tell me why. All right, Paul.
Okay, so it's okay if I'm not accepted by my classmates and peers because not everyone will always like me. Well, you understand that most people, they have different personalities, so you're gonna know not everybody meshes together. Their personalities don't mix, so that's a rational statement to
Okay.
me.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, number 2. Let's see for number 2. Okay, Jewel.
If I do not like something about the way I'm feeling, I will try to change the way I think to change the way that I feel. Having intelligence can bring awareness to feelings. Then I can create ideas to structurally change my feelings.
Okay, very profound statement. Now, Gene, I saw where you put irrational. Do you still go with Irrational would,
Well, I just did the irrational just to debate, to see.
okay, so you just did it just to debate. Well, okay, give me a debate. Do you have anything you'd like to debate about, or have you changed your opinion?
The number three.
Number two.
two.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If I do not like something about the way I'm feeling, I will try to change the way I think, to change the way I feel. That's
Okay.
exactly right. We will try to change. But we are in a society where there's too many things that are going on that promote this feeling. So how can we, I know we can adjust, but in controversy to what other people are doing and making us this depressed feeling, which leads to other emotions and other problems in our lives that makes us depressed, negative thinking. So there's a lot of things that goes with that question.
You know what? You have a very valid point. In today's society, realistically, it would be rational. But then I can see where coming at it from a more of a different point of view, it could be considered irrational. So I think that might be left to everyone's opinion,
individual.
to the individual. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
All right, yes.
I read something the other day, it said perception is reality. If you perceive something to be a certain way, and we believe what we tell ourselves, to us, that is our prison. So we have to change that. We have to change that what we're feeling about ourselves, we have to look at that side.
Yeah. Read that first sentence again to me.
Perception is reality.
Perception is reality to the individual at that given time. Think about it. With your clients, when they come in and they're sitting before you, they are sobbing in tears, they are angry, they are hostile, and they're talking at elevated levels, or they're talking very calm, very lethargic. Their movement is just very slow. And sometimes we have to meet them where they're at. Or can you read that one more time, that last sentence?
The entire thing,
Just the first sentence.
perception is reality.
At that moment, the reality is what they perceive, even though it might be irrational to us. Okay, thank
We
you.
have to change it to keep ourselves from being in a prison though. So we have to be have a positive thought. Because if we don't, we're going to end up in our own prison.
That's right. You cannot end up where your client's at. You have to remain your own individual to keep yourself from going to that prison to where your client is in that constant state of emotional prison themselves. So you have to have good self-care, good positive ways of thinking about yourself, so you have to know yourself very well. And I agree. Great statement, very profound. So due to time, we're going to have to just kind of jump along. Let's go to number 7, okay?
I must be exactly like my peers. No way.
No way. Do you have a reason why?
Well, morality, the way I was brought up, farming community, personality. I have a very unusual personality. Right, Joel?
Yes, yes, yes.
And on top of that, I don't want to be like my peers. There's nothing there that interests me. I mean, I could be like
You're happy
Abraham
with who
Lincoln.
you are, you're happy with who you are.
You better believe it. I certainly am.
Billy, I see where you disagree, you put it irrational. Can you?
Well, I'd say, basically in your workplace, everybody should do about the same.
Now, being a former manager before retirement, I guess you really wanted to bring people in as a cohesive group. And make everybody kind of uniform across the board with, especially when you come to measuring their work performance, evaluations, sales increase. Okay, well, we're all seeing a different perspective here from one another. This is good. Well, due to time, we're going to have to move on to our next activity. Now, I think you all grasp this. I don't think we have to go through each one of them. But activity number 2. Okay. So for activity number 2, basically using the fill in the blank on your handout, on page 2 of your handout, fill in the blank. Now that you're familiar with irrational, rational beliefs, thoughts, and behaviors and emotions, just go through and tell me what you think. Is it rational or irrational? But after you put irrational, rational, then grade it. Grade it based on poor, fair, good, and excellent. Poor, fair, good, and excellent. So if you believe the irrational thought is a very poor one, or very fair, or a good irrational, or excellent one, whatever you think it is, you grade it. Behavior, according to research, is the easiest thing to measure about a person. It's hard to measure emotions unless it's self-reported. It's hard to measure cognitions unless it's self-reported. But you, sitting in this room, you can measure someone else's behavior just by watching what they do. So, measure, you think it's poor, fair, good, or excellent, based on the irrational or rational thought. And that's just going over a waterfall there, is keeping the momentum going for this activity.
Do you want us to go through each one now?
I'm just going to pick maybe one of them. So let's start with number 1.
Okay.
All right? Who would like to do number 1?
I'll do it.
Okay, Polly.
So it is shocking that my classmates do not like me.
Is that rational or irrational?
I think that's irrational.
Okay. And would you like to elaborate? Do you think that is poor, fair, good, or excellent?
That statement. I guess it's fair.
Now, did you determine fair based off of what followed the client's belief, such as the client's behavior was verbally insulting their classmates by calling them all mean names?
Yeah. I think so.
All right. Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but, basically looking at the client's behavior, verbally insulting their classmates, that behavior is very poor. The consequence for their behavior was not being allowed to participate in recess for a day. That's all happened to us. It was once in life.
Right.
Maybe more than once as a kid. Maybe a lot.
It's for bad behavior.
All right, who would like to do number 2?
I'll take that one. I can't help the way I am, so I guess I will always be this way. And that's a irrational.
Rational. Okay, that's what I had, rational. And Paul, I had rational
So you
too.
did on that.
Or actually irrational.
Irrational.
Irrational. And you said yours was
Irrational.
irrational. Okay, irrational. So the behavior stemming from his belief or her belief, that behavior stemming from the thought of the client is continuing to not complete their homework. So how would you grade that behavior? If it's an irrational thought, not doing their homework.
And we,
Weak,
Poor, I think.
poor? Anybody think any different? Poor, weak? Okay, so poor, so we got poor or fair, and weak would be right in there with like probably where fair is at. If you base it on like a extremely weak, strong, extremely strong, Likert scale. So y'all are right there in line with the Likert scale where it should be. Very good. Number 3. Okay, Francis.
There are no two people the same, therefore I can be at peace with being myself and not someone else. That's a rational thought. And I say it's excellent. Basically, if you're not submitting to peer pressure, somebody offers you a drink, you gotta drive home, you're a Christian, you don't drink anyway. You don't submit to that, you get home safe, and you are displaying to those around you that you are a Christian, and you follow through, you're not just talking the talk.
Okay, and how did you grade it again?
Excellent.
Excellent, okay, I agree. Does anybody agree? Number 4, Jewel.
Not everyone in the world is Christian, so I cannot expect everyone always to be loving, accepting, and moral. And I believe that's rational.
Rational.
And I would say excellent on that one.
Excellent. I agree. Does anybody disagree? No? Okay. And the reason why it's excellent is because the behavior stemming from its dog is compassionate and empathetic when witnessing to someone who sometimes is mean and unethical. That's all around the world this day and time.
Yes.
And it's tough as a Christian to witness to people that are not godly, are not holy, do not have the same beliefs as we do. So that's a very rational, very mature way of thinking for this client. Okay, so the next is let's slow down and think a little bit. We have about 3 minutes remaining in class. And what you want to do is going to do reflective practice and free writing. Now, we've talked about this before, and I just basically put what reflective writing is you basically reflect upon your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. You identify causes and symptoms, and develop an insight into irrational thoughts and perspectives. And comparing circumstances to previous pain, failure, grief, loss, etc. Basically just reinvent the wheel. Creating solutions using learning outcome 2. So if you look at handout, and go up here to, and I'll just bring this up for you. Okay, so learning outcome 2 is what you're going to be doing in reflective writing. Basically, just write for the next 2 to 3 minutes how you apply your learning from today using the ABCE model that we discussed at the beginning of class as you compose potential solutions to your client's current problems. Now, if you like, you can use the examples of the case studies we just used. So look back to activity 2, pick either 1, 2, or 3, and just write how or create different types of solutions to the person's problem. You might want to look at numbers 1 and 2 because that was more the irrational thoughts. And just say, what could you do as a counselor to help make their irrational thoughts more rational? So just take a couple minutes and just free write. Okay, so due to time, we have to stop. But do I have one person that would like to share one last comment based off what you've learned? And in conclusion, you learned to interpret and measure behavioral consequences associated with clients' rational and irrational beliefs, as well as, right now, applying your learning to the ABC model as you compose potential solutions to your client's current problems. Would anybody like to share anything you learned with that last learning outcome? Really quickly before we conclude.
There's one that done number 2. So I can't have the way I am, so I guess I'll always be this way. I think when you know better, you do better.
So helping your clients learn how to know better.
Exactly.
More with cultural beliefs, maybe.
that or just a lot of ways. Sometimes we walk the line and we walk the blindly, but I think we've learned. But then when we look at those signs on it, we may see a different way that we can do that. So if you know better, then you want to be more compassionate. That.
I agree. Very good, very good. Jean?
Number two, I would say the behavior stems from home and not good parenting, upbringing, and values, moral values.
So you might want to look at more working with the family, like family therapy, versus just individual, to work on the whole family environment and culture to change everyone's behavior for a much better rational, emotive behavior. I would just like to say thank you for all for participating today. We had to move relatively quickly. The 30 minutes flew by. Now, compared to last classes, I didn't know y'all were going to be this interactive, and I appreciate it. I really do. You all have phenomenal responses. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me after class, or you can send me an email. But this will be our conclusion. God bless. I look forward to working with you soon. You all want to be wonderful counselors. You have what it takes.
Now, the real things.
Oh, yeah, let's